today we finally get to the good stuff. That's DotoDoya. I'm Nanogenix. We're your hosts today for key. I don't know why I said today. We're hosts every time for key moments where we talk anime. We talk what we're up to lately. We talk seriously. Goku's doing awesome stuff, man. I'm so happy.
We talked Dragon Ball Z Rewatch, and we finally made it, bro. We made it. No, we're here. Finally, defying gravity. Defying the odds.
It feels so good to be here to this episode, and like, man, it was a good episode too. I'm excited to see what we end up rating these. I need to pull up the sheet because we do a rating for every episode. If you're new here, you know, we talk anime. Right now we're also doing a Dragon Ball Z rewatch, and we do give ratings. We do a quick little rundown of the episode in case you are just purely wanting to listen to the podcast and wanting to, like, you know, get to hear our thoughts on the episodes and get to relive Dragon Ball Z with us. It's awesome. And
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Doto. What you gonna say?
I was gonna say you were gonna plug, but like, you know, we also have it over on Patreon. Woo! If you want to watch Dragon Ball Z along with us, you can go over there, become a key member, sign up for all sorts of behind the scenes, early access sometimes, and, you know, exclusive behind the scenes special videos
sometimes.
Hey, listen, we gotta throw the ashes in there.
We be recording these maybe like right before you're hearing them / watching them, but you know, when we do get ahead, you get the content early. That's a benefit of being a key member on Patreon. As he said, dude, some of our reactions have been great, man. Oh, and I tried it out. I tested out
Nano reacted to Nano reacting with me.
So here's the thing. I think it's cool. Like, if you want to do a rewatch of Dragon Ball Z, we're now creating a library where you can sit down, watch Dragon Ball Z, throw me and Dotto up on your phone or another monitor, and then you've got our commentary with the episode. It actually is genuinely cool. So if you've never been over there, and we count it down, you can sync it up, and then you can hear me and Dotto banter and laugh and gasp and all the things, everything that's happening in the episode by being a key member. Link in the description. And the other benefits, the fact that you get to watch other bonus content that's not available on YouTube, and no ads, because we upload all the podcasts over there.
Let's keep the plug to just that, because Nano, for the first time, I don't know if you agree, for the first time in a long time, it felt like we were actually watching Dragon Ball Z today. Yes. Not to spoil the quality of the episodes.
Okay,
well, I mean, there's been some.
I want to defend some. We've had some really bad episodes. Like, dare I say, you want some chills going down your back, bro? Dueling Piccolos.
I hated that episode. That episode sucked, man.
I feel like that is the worst episode of Dragon Ball Z, and I that's probably a bold statement because we still have 270 episodes to go. But my God, can it get worse than that episode of Dragon Ball Z? Maybe, hopefully not. But you know, I mean, it was some good, solid filler content, you know, Princess Snake and stuff like that. But man,
Princess Snake was good.
This is real Dragon Ball Z. I'm excited to see what you tell me is filler.
I actually had to go. I had to go peep that, remind myself, and I'm honestly surprised. We got a good these felt like canon episodes, and even when it was filler, this is my kind of Z filler. Just training, screams. Again, I've said it before on this podcast, but if you're going to give me filler in a show like this, just make it so you're adding training time or you're adding screaming time. And other than that, I'm good to go. I keep the, you know, battle of the children and their, you know, the adoptive agency, whatever that arc was. I mean, that was cool too, but I'm happy to be moving on to some other things. So Nano, do we want to just jump right into it? The first episode we watched, Defying Gravity.
Yeah. Let's dive in. Defying Gravity. This is the 19th episode in the uncut version of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, brother. Took us long enough.
And the 13th episode of the Vegeta saga, when they're breaking it up into all those little sagas. This episode originally aired in Japan on September 13th of 1989, Dotto. This is a long classic, time ago, man.
Bro. It is old as hell, man.
This is in fact a classic, and this is where we're finally on King Kai's planet. We are truly here. We get the meat of actually being on the planet, not just getting there and playing tiddlywinks for a few minutes and making jokes. We're here.
We actually made it out of Snake Way with this one. That's crazy.
Dude,
we actually got.
I lost the bet, by the way. If you guys are new listeners, when we started the pod, you know, and to be honest, this was closing on a year ago since we probably made this bet, but I think I I can't verify. I lost. That's all we really matters. But I think
I can't even remember. You said like episode 11 that we'd be off Snake Way or something.
I did. I thought we would be where we're at now by episode 11. I think Doto said like at least 10, and Doto would have been way more right than me. But technically, Goku died on what, episode 5?
Yeah.
And we are not now to King. We are now the King Kai's finally, truly. Technically, it was on the previous episode called The End of Snake Way, but this is like the real thing that we were both anticipating. That only took, what is that, 14 episodes?
Yeah, it took a while to get here.
Episodes. And also, Goku was in some of the filler arcs, but this is the first time that we feel like we're back with the main character, right? Like this is the first time we're like, okay, like we're really making like true progress with the main character since the Raditz stuff.
It felt like this episode really, I mean, one, it was good, and the animators went crazy on it throughout. But it felt like we were back on track. Like the stakes feel really high right now they've been showing us the Saiyan every goddamn week since, Raditz died. So it should start to feel real, but I'm glad it actually, again, it just felt like every other episode was like, okay, yeah, we're waiting. And now it feels like it's time, dude. Like, honestly, I'm tapped in. These 2 episodes, I was feeling it the entire time.
Same.
Especially as soon as Goku jumps up off Snake Way and gets pulled in by the 10 times gravity and starts like crouching around after Bubbles. Well, I'm locked in, dude. I really do believe. I don't know why King Kai's planet is so memorable to me, but I agree with our clickbait. I don't know if we're gonna title it. But this is the greatest training area.
I think most people feel the same way. I feel like surely most people feel the same way. Because I'm 100% with you on that.
Dude, the gravity stuff, catching. Let's not even get into Gregory. He's kind of not even in this episode, but I'm also just a big fan of Gregory as well. Greatest anime-only Dragon Ball character of all time.
Which you blew my mind, by the way. I'll put myself on Fraud Watch here. I was unaware that Gregory was not like canon. Like I didn't realize that he was anime filler. I definitely thought, because like, I don't know. I guess to me that feels so. It just felt so in line. Like it's not too drawn out. Like it just
It's like another
Bubbles
cast,
and
another
Gregory.
level.
Yeah, Bubbles and Gregory just
Honestly,
it makes sense to me.
I can't blame anybody for thinking that. I'm sure I thought that before reading the manga because I don't know why, but Gregory is like the most respected in the anime source of all time. Like when they show King Kai nowadays in the anime, like Gregory's usually there, right? Or am I making that up? I feel like he usually is hanging out with Bubbles and King Kai.
I mean, this might be a Mandela effect thing or whatever it's called, but like, yeah, I definitely, when I picture anytime they show King Kai, Gregory is in the shot for sure.
Yeah, like he's definitely there, and sometimes he even gets lined like, oh yeah, like he's just another one of Goku's friends up there. Like it's Gregory, Bubbles, and King Kai.
Yeah.
And the anime gives that a lot of respect. So he kind of works his way into being canon-ish. I mean, let's stretch the word canon a little bit. But as far as if you're watching the anime, Gregory exists to you, and he definitely exists to me. So again, that's not even defying gravity, but huge shout outs. We're finally getting to the good cast of characters here. And what happened? I mean, most of the Goku time is just chasing Bubbles, right?
It is, yeah. I want to do one little other thing, Doto, that I just want to throw out.
You got a branching path here?
Just a quick one, just because we talked about it prior, and so I just want to throw it out there. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, I do want to remind you guys that if you ever need an audio only version of this, we're available on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the podcast services. And if you're over there and you're listening to us, you've not left us a rating, that would help us out. Doto is like pleading that the audio listeners just like push forward and make sure that the audio side of this does well. So,
I do like audio only. I will say, because we can never meet up early enough, and that's on me. You know, it was my first day back in the saddle of like trying to eat right, act right. So I definitely, the reason I think I told Nato, like, hey, give me 30 minutes for this podcast. Bro, I could not get that meal down in 30 minutes. I was like, holy dude, I got to take some extra time, stretch my legs. I was late. Anyway, that was mostly to describe the reason I like audio.
I thought you were cooking the meal.
I was cooking and then also eating. It was a double, like I just underestimated my time.
Okay.
I bring that up to say I like the audio podcast because we are recording at night again. So my screen is really dark. Hi, how's it going?
Man, dude, people don't care, bro. But also, if you are a visual if you're watching this on YouTube, would love if you guys left a like as well. Just take a second, hit a like, and also, subscribe. It lets the algorithm know that you're enjoying the content, and you'll make sure you see this again next week when we're back next week, because we post every Friday.
It shocks me, man. Key moments could be it feels like a Saturday show, maybe even a Wednesday.
Well, that's the thing, man. We post on Friday, sometimes late on Fridays, so then you know what, it becomes a Saturday morning thing for people. And another thing here in this episode, guess what, we've already talked about it a couple times, but we actually are talking about 2 episodes of Dragon Ball Z today, and they were perfect to team up and put them together, because they were the true Goku on King Kai's planet training arc with Bubbles and Gregory, which is why we do keep talking about them, because we did react to both of those back to back over there.
Yeah, this might be the most deserving double episode podcast of all time. Like, this is the perfect 2-episode special. Again, it's the King Kai training episode. Nano, because this was honestly, the King Kai stuff is so fresh in my mind. Let me just ask you, did you like the chasing Bubbles around?
Yeah.
Do you like that as a training special?
Yes, dude. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
How'd you feel about his mix-up, his strategy? So basically, if you don't know, there's not too much detail to go in. Goku just lands on King Kai's, and his first test, chase and catch Bubbles. If you played any of the games, you might know this section. Big in Infinite World. Nano, how do you feel? Did you like the way Goku went about it? I need to play
Infinite World. You're telling me this is a thing in Infinite World?
Yeah, man. Like, every now and then you go in, like, you'll have like the normal fights, obviously, but then you'll get these special side missions where, I mean, catching Bubbles was probably the best side mission, because you actually have to chase him and catch him, and it was annoying. In the anime, let's just talk about this now. In the anime, there's only one banana scene where Bubbles finds a banana and throws it. In the game, he has at least an infinite amount of those. He spams that move, bro. I tripped on maybe 70 banana peels in my time chasing him.
So, okay, so not to like diverge too much here, but I just want to say I did not know that. You said that when we were reacting, and I was like, damn, yeah, what does he mean by that? But I'm not trying to out myself right now, because I'm like, am I forgetting about this, like in Budokai or some shit like that? But you're telling me it's an Infinite World. So for me, Infinite World, because like most people, I mean, that game came out in 2008. I mean, at that point, PS3 was 2 years old, 360 was 3 years old, like, and it was a PS2 game. It's just still so weird they did that with that game. But
yeah, that actually is crazy that you bring this up. This actually could go off into a big tangent here, I'm not gonna lie. But the reason I think Infinite World sticks out to me, and also the reason I sound a lot older than I am when I talk about the games I played growing up, is because my family, my mom and dad, gaslit me into thinking that games stopped at the PS2, Nintendo 64. Like, I thought that was as far as games ever got. So to me, Infinite World was amazing, because I was like, yo, new PS2 game just dropped. Let's go. That's the only reason, bro.
Oh my
God. To me, that was cutting edge gaming technology. I didn't know that you could play games online. I didn't know anything like that. So Infinite World, I was like, yo, this is awesome.
Wow.
No way.
So yeah, so see, for me, I picked up Infinite World because at that point, like in 2008, like I was 16, 17, I don't know, I had a job either way. I was able to buy my own stuff. And so I was like, I had burst limit. So I got next gen PS3 burst limit right here at home, and then now I got this Infinite World game. So I put in Infinite World, my due diligence on my 60 gig fat PS3 that had the backwards compatibility on PS2. Mwah, beautiful.
Ooh, huge.
And played it, but the thing is, I never played story mode. So is this, and I know you did like your whole series 2 years ago now, since we're in 2024. That was like a 2022 thing, right? Where you did the whole series.
I think so. Yeah. That was a good time.
So that story mode is actually worth playing. Is that what you're saying? Like, it's actually worth checking out?
I mean, if you're making videos on it, yeah, dude, do it. And if you got the extra time and you feel like playing a Dragon Ball story mode, it's about as hard as you want to make it. Like, you can customize your moves and stuff. It's very 2D Dragon Ball game on the PS2. It's nothing too different. But I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I guess like you have me intrigued now because with this Bubbles thing. Because like,
yeah, there's I mean, I could tell you that another bonus would be like, when Goku's trying to get off Namek, that's like another run around. Like, you have to get to Frieza's ship in time.
Wait, I guess what is confusing me with this is it like Saga's-esque gameplay? Like, what are you, because the game is like a Tekken fighter style.
Kind of, yes. But in those alternate moments, you run around on a 3D plane, and it controls pretty good. Like, it's not like you have the fighting game.
Is it like exploring the map in Budokai 3?
I don't remember what that's like. Do you just mean like walking? It's a little bit like that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That is okay. That is so interesting to me. And like, man, okay. Yeah. The games I feel like come up so much with us. Well, first off, because we're two channels that are built heavily on playing Dragon Ball games. But also, I think like more than maybe this is just me like blowing smoke like crazy, but I feel like the Dragon Ball sphere is so heavily influenced by the games, right? Because I feel like for the longest time, games are what kept that franchise afloat, at least in my mind, for me wanting to be interested.
I mean, it was pretty much the only thing going.
Yeah, so
for a while there.
So maybe that's why. So we do be talking about the games a lot, but I do think the games are so integral to modern day like Dragon Ball culture, right? So it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, what was your question that made you threw me off because I was like, why does he keep mentioning a mini game against Bubbles? Like,
bro,
what
because
are you talking
Bubbles
about?
was a goddamn menace in that game, man. Trying to catch Bubbles sucked.
I gotta do this for the bit mechanics. Now. Just for the bit.
I think you'll be able to get it pretty quick. Just kid me struggled, and then adult me also struggled a little bit. But anyway, I think my question was, again, you were more watching this, on the edge of your seat here. What did you like the way he went about catching Bubbles? The little hidden in plain sight.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess to me, I won't. As we were watching, my brain was thinking like the point, because let's take a step back. So Goku does a jump, by the way. So So and this is when King Kai is explaining the planet to him and tells him that it's 10x the gravity that he's used to on Earth, which is why, because Goku points out like they're gonna train. He's like, I don't know, it feels weird. There's something weird about being on your planet. And that's when King Kai is like, yeah, because guess what? 10x the gravity that you're used to on planet Earth. And then out of nowhere, Goku jumps like 30, 40, 50 feet in the air like it's nothing.
They gassed my boy up here. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, hey, I think we should have made it like at maybe half the height or less. It seemed like a moment that could have showed the beginning of his training, but instead they use it to like hype him up. Like King Kai's like, wow, if he can jump that high already, like this guy might be a prospect here.
Yeah,
kind of hit him with that scouting report.
But also, obviously, it's anime. But they did choose an angle that also made it look like he went really high as well, right? Like everything about it.
He went crazy.
And then even King Kai, like he talked in his head, but that like he definitely was. What do you like to say, Doto? Glazing him a little bit.
He was glazing. He was basically high school football coach. He was like, "Why aren't you on the football team, son? You got some talent in you." He was scouting this man.
Yeah, okay. Donald's laying the seeds for a Madden special right now. That's what Donald's doing.
Of course, man. But no, like it's no angle, no trick or nothing. Goku was struggling to walk, and then said, "All right, jump as high as you can," and damn near broke every record King Kai's planet has ever seen. So the glazing was pretty crazy.
So the reason why I was bringing that up is because then Goku goes over and he takes all of his weights off and starts trying to chase.
This was the stupidest part of the episode, bro.
Starts trying to chase Bubbles, and you point out like, what's the point of doing that? The whole point is to train. And then King Kai finally says that to him too. Now,
that's why I don't understand about the episode. Go ahead.
And so I'm trying. That's why I'm trying to build to. So while I think it is smart, because I am definitely, I had a boss forever ago, because I've been doing this for a long time now. But his motto was "work smarter, not harder," and so I feel like that applies here to Goku. Like work smarter, not harder. So it's definitely much smarter to start doing some zigzag shit than trying to just run in a straight line trying to catch this monkey
he was torching him.
We don't know how long Bubbles has lived on this planet. So to him, like, this gravity is nothing. Like he is accustomed to this gravity. But so I think the smarter not harder thing does work, but at the same time, in the same mindset that you shouldn't take your weights off because, the whole point is to be here to train. Then a little bit of me is also kind of like, well, Goku should have caught him by running straight after him. Like that's kind of the whole purpose of the training to begin with. But can't front that, like, in some cases in this show, smarts and wits can outmaneuver pure raw strength. So
I will say though, I feel like the show kind of like it kind of didn't make sense that Goku won by like running the opposite direction, hitting him with some hidden maneuvers. Because as he was doing this, he was also like, I think there's a moment where he like misses bubbles and then like flips over on his hand and dashes the other way. I was like, okay.
That part
I think
was
even
sick,
in the reaction, it was sick, but even in the reaction, I was like, this barely has anything to do with like him like mixing bubbles up. Like he is just him now. Like the gravity was not bothering him.
Yes. Yeah. That is also true. Yeah.
Anyway, I just want to cover real quick. The only part of this episode that I actually think was just bad, like the only part that doesn't make sense is it would have made sense is if Goku couldn't move at all, letting him take off the weights would be fine. But the fact that he takes off the weights, King Kai thinks and it says like, oh, awesome. He's taking off the weights. He'll be able to move better. Then they immediately call a break, go in for lunch. And then they go outside and Goku tries to take off the weights again. King's like, don't do that. Like train with max weight. It's like, all right, bro, why did we even put in the section where we said like, oh, that's smart of him to take off the extra weight? He was always just cheating, bro. He was always just cheating. I'm glad King Kai called him out. He got away with it for too long though.
Okay. You're right. It does not make sense to do the whole thing.
he just gave him false hope. I don't even know what the point of it was.
Okay. Yeah. Man. Wait, I'm reading the wiki and this is probably going to correct this. And it was because they did such an emphasis, but they were wrong. This is probably down here somewhere. I'm reading the summary of this. And it says Goku tells his mentor about the Saiyans who King Kai tracks down, which by the way was that was actually really cool. Him zoning in because King Kai, can do his whole little antenna thing, and he's trying to find the Saiyans, and he finds them, and the way they animate that and the sound effects of that was just like
that was a feat for King Kai. He like dials in immediately.
Yes, and then he does the some calculations in his head, and he tells Goku they're 88 days away. But the wiki is telling me that King Kai tracks down and tells Goku that they will arrive on Earth in 158 days. That is a huge damn difference. That's almost 6 months.
They are fucking cruising slow on the wiki stats, man. They are chilling.
And the reason why I remember 88 is because I'll be damned if they didn't say 88 days like 10 times, which is why when we were reacting, I'm like, I damn well know that they are getting this wrong probably, and we're going to get over the wiki, and they're going to tell us like it's going to be, well, actually, in the manga, in the Japanese version, it was 1,000 days. It wasn't 1,000.
We're getting to the part of Z where since we do the podcast, we talk about differences from the manga with the section. We're getting to the part. We're getting to the point. Every time they mention a number, we just both say, "Yeah, they lying, bro. They lying again. There they go running their mouth like they always do. Always with these damn numbers, bro."
And I guess I don't know why they need to change them. I guess that's what was it really a truly just raw mistranslation back in the day, or like
no shot,
or like did they just think like we're
feel cooler?
88 sounds much more pressured than 158, like 88, like that's not even really like 3 months, but 158, that's like half a year. So let's just go ahead and let's change it to 88. Like
it's got to be the fact that they just I think one guy did it once and then he did it early in the series to the point where like they just had to move numbers around to make it make sense. Like Goku says like, oh, I've been 7 months on Snake Way. Like then like once you fuck that up, then you have to like 88 days, 3 months.
Yeah.
You've got, there's even another line. I think it's in the next episode, so we just won't talk about it then. But it's like, oh, you've been here for this amount of days.
Oh, 3 weeks.
Yes, 3 weeks. And now you have 69 days, or you have 70 days left. And I was like, Nano, is the mathing right now?
And it was not.
You decided it was not.
Yeah, they were wrong. I also, sorry, we are skipping a huge portion of this episode that we do have to mention. And that's that he tells Goku 2 jokes, which didn't get a chuckle out of either of us. No offense, King Kai, but it is what it is.
Obviously, I remembered that jokes were a big part of King Kai's character, but I didn't remember that it was like this on site. Like they joke for a while. To be fair though, Sean, like I don't know why the voice of Goku to me is so iconic as like a badass voice. So hearing Goku just say stupid shit actually is pretty funny to me.
No, I agree. I'm with you on that. And
like so, Sean could damn near say anything, and I'd be like, that was a good one, dude. I like that one.
Dude, yeah. When Sean does turn it on though, like Super Saiyan 3 UI, like that kind of thing. Oh my god, dude. Anyway, that's right. That's neither another. Anyway, so King Kai tells Goku in order for King Kai to train him, he has to tell him a joke, and like.
Do you remember what it was?
They went in on this. Like the animation.
Effects were cool.
the animation for him telling the joke was like, it was a fight scene of him telling the joke. And so I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. And then I know we already talked about it, not to go back to it again too much, but I think the other thing too about the King Kai like zoning in on the Saiyans is it had like that very I get a like a hit of dopamine, like I don't know. Is that the right way to say that? But basically when I hear those iconic sound effects in Dragon Ball Z, it triggers something in my brain, just pure happiness. And that's what happened with that King Kai edit of like zoning in on him. That was cool. That
yeah,
was so cool
it was sick. I mean, when Goku hit him with the why'd the chicken cross the road, and then the counter punch, because King Kai tried to say to get to the other side, but he said, nah, it was too far to fly. Bro, that was heat, bro. That was honestly better than crazy. Super Saiyan versus Frieza. That might be the peak of Dragon Ball fights.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Actually, let me just see. I'm just going to skip down to see if they list it as a battle. No. The only battle in this, do you just want to talk about this on the side? Because I don't remember where this cuts in. The only battle that the wiki list is Gohan versus Piccolo.
Oh, that was basically the next thing for us to talk about anyway. Let's go.
Because now that Goku's back to being the MC, the side filler fights that they used to fill time is like, again, and this is exactly what I want to see. It's just like real training between Piccolo and Gohan. So like minor fight scenes and stuff, which I thought looked amazing. Honestly, all the Gohan Piccolo stuff look good now.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, and that's like when we were sitting down to what do the reactions. I'm like, I'm hoping what is happening, because the big thing that we've said as we've been watching these now is that every episode has to have a quick scene of Vegeta and Nappa sitting in their freaking pods, coming across some planet in the solar system towards Earth, so that way they can remind you that they're coming. And then there's another sequence of Goku running down Snake Way. That's been like, it's always just a cutaway for a few, just like a little bit, but it's like, it's got to be there. And now, and the heavy focus is on either Gohan, mostly Gohan, or the humans. But now we get the heavy focus on Goku with the cutaway to Gohan and Piccolo. And in this sequence, where they're fighting, this is where we get the big green uncle bit.
That is true.
That Gohan calls Piccolo his big green uncle because they are like family now.
I will say it was funny. Like, obviously everybody remembers the big green uncle line. I forgot that like it cuts to the next day as Gohan's like sleeping. Piccolo is still mad about that shit. He is pissed.
Yes.
He is fuming, bro. That comment pissed him off.
For what? For like whatever reason. I don't know.
Bro, he was upset, bro. Well, I'd be upset too. He's like an evil demon, and he knows deep down, he's like, damn, this kid is right. I'm kind of washed up evil wise.
Would you say he's also a king?
Yeah, I think he's a demon and a bit of a king, yeah.
Man.
At least he was shaping up to be. Definitely not now. He's just a big green uncle now.
So it'd be like if we were to refer to him anything, we might call him like Demon King Piccolo.
I'd probably throw Junior at the end of that, but yeah.
Damn. Okay.
He was on the path to earning that title. He lost it now.
So after that cutaway with Piccolo and Gohan, we come back, and that is when I think, because the narrator started talking, but it didn't feel like the end of the episode yet, and so we were both thinking the same thing. And when he says like it's been 3 weeks, you're like, that's why the narrator's here.
It takes 3 weeks to catch bubbles, man. That shit was forever.
Yeah, well, thank God, honestly, and again, and that's why I think I like this episode and like where we're at right now in the series, because I like that it was, struggling to catch him, cut away to Gohan and Piccolo. Piccolo, big green uncle, and then come back and go. And narrator's like, "Hey, it's been 3 weeks," and Goku catches Bubbles. That's when he does his shenanigans, his stuff that you weren't a fan of with the.
Feels good, man. It's crazy how fast Dragon Ball Z can move when it wants to move fast.
Exactly.
It's just like, all right, we're done. You got.
And that's pretty much the episode.
Honestly, yeah, and honestly, pretty good. Nano, can we just skip ahead real quick? I want to do differences from the manga, because I saw something in here that excited me at the very beginning of the podcast. I've been sitting on it all damn episode.
Oh, okay.
So,
sorry.
Do you remember how I reacted, Nano? Do you remember how I reacted when Goku jumped? And I was like, why'd they let him jump that high?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, in the anime, King Kai is surprised at how high Goku can jump, whereas in the manga, he thinks Goku's jump is pathetic.
Oh.
Hey, me and Akira Toriyama, all I'm saying is me and Akira Toriyama, we was spitballing Dragon Ball back in the day, and yeah, we definitely crafted that one up, and we both agreed the jump should be an example of how far he can go in his training. But anime decided to go a different way. I still respect that. We got 2 other ones here. Honestly, this is a great episode for this segment. In the anime, there's an additional scene showing more of Gohan and Piccolo's training before they sit around a fire at night. Yeah, that's good filler. What do you think about that? Do you like that kind of filler?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, this is, now that we're this close to the Saiyans being there, I think it would feel weird to all of a sudden ignore that kind of stuff, you know? So
yeah. I agree. I like it, and cool fight scenes, great use of our time. I like it. Would like more of it. And Nano, here we go once again. English and numbers, bro. In the anime, it takes 3 weeks for Goku's to catch bubbles. In the manga, it took him 40 days.
Well, again, if the wiki up here is saying that it took 158 days, they're having to shave off time now because they've changed the official amount of time it should have taken for the Saiyans to get there, which I imagine that you're about to tell me.
And speaking on that, Nano, in the manga, in the Japanese version, Goku is told there is 158 days remaining until the Saiyans arrive on Earth.
There it is.
In the Funimation dub, however, they say he has 88 days remaining.
It just makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. However, and I'm sure we'll find this more as we go along, but to the people that are dub haters and that are like, but there's so many inaccuracies, this doesn't change that much, though.
It don't matter to me, man. Like,
yeah,
numbers
the
and
days
like,
don't. It doesn't mean like that is not affecting my enjoyment. Like, whether I knew that or not. And the only reason why we're even saying this is because we do this trivia every podcast, and so it stands out now. And again, they said it so many like they said 88, I think genuinely like 66 times in this episode. But and so we just know that's. But if that is the only reason why you're like, the dub has just too many inaccuracies, and I guess the jump thing though, that is maybe a weird one. The fact that he thought it was pathetic in the manga.
I would say the jump is more weird, but also it's like it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it doesn't.
It's just both of them are just jumping to show that, like, okay, Goku's going to get better than this. One is just a positive spin and one's a negative spin. I will also say another bit of trivia, and this is another thing that I myself don't necessarily care about because obviously Goku's focus is on these characters. But in the closing narration, Vegeta and Nappa are said to be the 2 deadliest fighters in the universe. However, even the wikis sometimes the wiki just gets on their ass for no reason. Even as a great ape, Nappa would be weaker than Captain Ginyu, and both would be weaker than Frieza. Yeah, but I mean, but again, we're focused on Nappa and Vegeta right now. You want to gas them up.
I was gonna say, yeah. That would just be like really bad, like storytelling if you were like, these guys you've been training for are really strong, but guess what? They don't compel in comparison to the next arc that you guys are gonna be involved in.
Like, you don't want the announcer to be like, and soon Goku will have to fight, in the grand scheme of things, 2 very weak and forgotten fighters. They compared very little to the likes of Majin Buu. You won't know about him for quite some time. It's like, okay, dude, thank you. Yeah, so, we'll talk about Majin Buu at a later date, but just know he's pretty strong.
Yeah, no, like that's I sure whatever with that one. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like
that's whatever. That's just gassing. We got to gas up who we're focused on right now. Right now, that's Vegeta and Nappa,
and who aren't even here, by the way. So
someone
on the wiki was really on their ass on that day.
They was on their ass in that.
Holy hell!
Even as a great ape gets me because they're like, even as a great ape, Nappa's way weaker than Ginyu.
Hang on. So then are they saying that Great Ape Vegeta would be stronger than Ginyu?
I guess so. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I kind of doubt that, to be honest. I feel like Ginyu. See, there's so many what ifs. I don't know why we're getting on this tangent. We got a whole episode to go. But Ginyu, the idea. So I just want to talk about this, man. And now it's on my mind. I got to ask you. Okay. This kind of fight, Ginyu folding Great Ape, is just an idea that would look so wrong, and it's so funny. My personal favorite is if Frieza came back to Earth in a timeline where, Goku didn't show up to fight him and Frieza was just going on a rampage. Isn't it funny to think about the fact that if the androids woke up, they would fold the actual shit out of him?
Yes.
Is that not crazy to think about? Like, if Frieza went back to Earth on some like fuck you type energy, he would have gotten folded by 2 robotic teenagers. Like, no questions asked.
And what's their names?
Lapis and Lazuli, bro.
Damn, he's got it.
Hey, I remember that. And as a kid, I always loved that about Dragon Ball, that you're moving on, like it's constant progression based series. But that one is always the one that found me the most because I can definitely see a universe where even if Frieza killed Goku and he's like, all right, honestly, I got to get my run back on Earth. The idea of him pulling up and getting folded by some fucking like robotics is too fucking funny to me. Like Zero, Android 19, they would wash the floor with Frieza.
Yeah,
instantly.
That's just like that is a very interesting way of thinking of that, huh?
But anyway, we got to do a what if podcast at some point. That's probably my favorite what if that nobody else talks about is Frieza showing back up and getting absolutely folded by 2 androids. Anyway, up next, Nano. That was pretty much Defying Gravity. Any other top? Or wait, we got to rate it. I always skip the ratings.
We do in fact need to rate this episode, Dotto. I think that I think I held up last time. So actually, I think it'll be my turn to go first, and then you'll go first on the next episode.
Okay, go ahead.
So, man, I got to think this one through. I did actually really enjoy this episode. Okay. I feel like I know what I want to give this one.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. I looked at the camera. I thought my other hand was holding up the numbers. Yeah, I'm good. My numbers have been up. I'm just going to put it down now. We know. I'm probably going to go with a, God, do I want to, as you like to say, glaze this one a little bit? I think we're thinking the exact same way again. I'm not even going to lie, but go ahead, man. Yeah, glaze. Do you want to glaze or do you want to be realistic? What are you feeling? I already held mine up. I'm not changing it. I'm gonna glaze today because there we go. Let's go. I did really enjoy this episode. I might be going. I feel like I'm going higher than you by a point. You are. I think if you're on the same wavelength I am, which I thought we were, you are. I'm gonna give it an 8. Exactly right, Nano. I gave it a 7. We were on the exact same. Okay. Wavelength. Yep. All right. It was between either glazing on an 8 or keeping it realistic on a 7. I will say I think it's a really good 7, but also as we've sat here and I've got to like sit on it now for what has been, I guess, an hour since we finished up that episode. I'm like, man, that actually was just really good. And it was. I'm glad you said 8, honestly. It's one of these episodes too that in my head I remember it being at least 2 or 3 episodes long. You know, like, yeah, I don't know why. There's a lot packed into this one. But the fact that it was, and I liked that it didn't like waste our time. I don't know. There's just a lot of things to love about this episode. And so with that, like, so much happened in this episode actually compared to some of the previous ones we've watched. So I can't deny that. So giving it an 8, and you're going with 7. Yep. My thought process was I'm right where you are. I was like, I could glaze a little bit, say 8, but the reason I didn't want to is because I know we're coming up on some really good stuff, and I want to have a little bit of like variance. So I'm putting this on 7. Check my thought process here, because while yes, this is good, and I would say it's better than Princess Snake in the areas I want to watch Dragon Ball Z, I'm giving it a 7 because it's a good standalone episode. It's good training. This would have hooked me on Dragon Ball Z, but again, 7's really good. So it's like a training episode. I don't want to give it an 8, but I'm glad somebody gave it an 8. It deserves an 8, but keeping it like comparative to where I know we're at. I need to average out our scores and see like what you've given stuff on average and what I've given stuff on average. I wonder who's the bigger glazer here. I feel like we're probably pretty even. You think? Because I think so, because sometimes I go a little higher on stuff. I'm looking. You gave something a 10, man. What did I give a 10? Oh, it was probably one of the Raditz episodes, though. It wasn't. What? What did I give a 10? Dude, you got to tell me. You gave the episode after the strangest robot a 10. It's episode 10, A New Friend. It's the one where his dinosaur. I was out of my goddamn mind, bro. That is glazing to the extreme. You gave it a 10, man. What the fuck? I have yet to give a 10 out, so there is no way I gave that shit a 10. But I mean, regardless, dude, I must have just been down in the dumps, man. But the dinosaur stuff was funny, but 10? Yeah, it wasn't even a Raditz episode that I gave a 10 to. That would have been deserved. Episode, like, Piccolo and Goku versus Raditz should have been a 10. Damn. All right, well, then I'm the fucking... dude, it's me then. I'm just the big Dragon Ball head over here. But yeah, so... I'm giving this one a 7. It's pretty good. 7 is my benchmark for like, that was good. I enjoyed that. I had a good time. And I enjoyed that. I had a good time. And honestly, it would have been an 8 if not for the fact that I know I'm going to be spamming some high numbers here. Yeah, so. Yeah. Now that you've put that in perspective, I'm about literally shit all over this next one, bro. Bro, relax. Goku's ancestors 2. Nah, bro is trying to fucking bump up his average. He's trying not to be a little glaze artist. Oh, man. Which that does bring us to episode
Number 20, Donna. We're on episode 20 episodes.
Kind of a surprising title on this one, too. Goku's Ancestors. Yeah, okay. I'm not really sure it earns that, but whatever. I mean, kind of.
Yeah, I think they were just running out of titles, you know? Like, imagine titling your YouTube video, ha, 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 bro, you know? Like,
nah, because this one's going to be, they were going to name it, like, Gregory's Big Day, but they decided against it at the last second. Because this is where we meet Gregory for the first time. Yay!
Yeah, so this is episode 20, this episode 14 in the Vegeta saga, and this I thought baited us a little bit because we be watching this and I'm like, Doto. Well, first off, our reaction, because when we clicked when we were watching, we went right into this one, so I didn't select this from the menu, so we didn't know the title of the episode until it rolled up. And then
it was kind of hype.
And then it rolls up and it says Goku's Ancestors, and we both lost our mind. And so then when we get through like half the episode, it's like, okay, so where's the ancestry part of this gonna come in, right? Like, I mean, I was enjoying the Gregory stuff, but like I was like, I don't know, dude. I eat up anytime, and this is why I gave the one a couple times ago when we were in the pendulum room. Like, anytime we're in the area of like, or the era of Saiyans running rampant, and there's not only like 3 of them left, like I am eating that up because I think it's so cool to see it, you know, all that happening. But I will say this was not one of those times because we know that everything that was being said here, and very interesting to see the trivia or the differences, but everything that was being said here is null and void, right? Like none of that was true.
Yeah. I mean, again, there's a lot we're gonna have to go into. This is an episode that actually is gonna require us to go into a little bit of detail here on the podcast, Nano. But would you mind if I start off, because it just made me laugh because I always go to check?
Sure.
Can I just read one of the differences from the manga here?
Go for it, man.
You know where I'm going with this. Because they got on my little guy's ass, bro. I got to stand up for him. They wrote it, the way they wrote this, Gregory is an anime exclusive character, and as such, all scenes involving him did not happen in the manga. Like, damn, bro, you don't have to write it like that. But yep, he's a little filler character himself. So you want to get back into this episode? We got a lot of lore.
But he's such a good character, man.
I respect it too.
And I liked his entrance and him popping up and being this little orb of energy, and then it pops away, and then like it's revealed that it's a little grasshopper, and he even corrects him. He's like, I gotta catch this bug, and he's like, hey, I'm a grasshopper. Like,
I'm a grasshopper, man. You respect me.
And
it feels so natural too, because again, if you're not familiar with Gregory or the next stage of Goku's training in the anime, King Kai basically gives him a fat giant mallet, weighs a ton, and his goal is to squash and take the life of Gregory.
Dude, you saying it like that is crazy, bro.
Well, he wants to kill. He tells Goku, I need you to kill this fucking annoying grasshopper. Like, I think you went to go get water, so you didn't hear that part in the English stuff, but he literally said, that's where they dropped the one F-bomb you can say on your show. They dropped it right there.
You know, the other thing too is like it's very clear that the relationship is not mutual, because Gregory you want to talk about, we've been using this word a lot in this episode, but truly this is where it fits the best. Gregory is the biggest glazer for King Kai. It's not even funny,
dude. He was doing spins on it this episode. That was crazy.
Spins on it
because Goku definitely was like, I'm not feeling I'm not feeling this guy's training methods right now, man. And Gregory was like, you're gonna talk to the great King Kai. Bro is doing tricks on it like it was nobody's business, man.
Oh man. Anyway, well, that's pretty much the gist of the first half. Is basically
that's how we're gonna describe this episode of people, because Gregory shows up, says he's a grasshopper man, and then starts fucking actually spitting on it and fucking two-handing that shit. That's the first half of Goku's Ancestors, Nano. That's what we're going with. Okay, I mean, it's true. I get it.
I got tears in my eyes, bro. Anyway, no, Goku has to try to catch and hit Gregory with the very heavy mallet. And then we do actually come back. We both got hyped for this because
this was sick.
We got to see we came back to the Kami Lookout, bro. And then we got to see everyone except for Chiaotzu training.
Yeah, Chiaotzu, fucking biggest freeloader on the Z Fighters I've ever seen, by the way.
I'll be down, man.
This guy, you know that basketball photo where it's like the guy's stats and it's 0 points, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 29 minutes?
Yep.
That's actually Chiaotzu as a Z Fighter. It's nuts. He is just a freeloader. But yeah, we get to see the Earthlings training, and these are the iconic shots. We even see a beam clash, Nano.
Yeah, dude. No, all of this was sick. I did forget that Tien was in the fit he was in. Like I even remember when we were reacting, I was like, oh, because I don't know why. I don't know. I just don't. I remember this, but I don't remember Tien being in that fit. If that makes sense.
I hear you.
Was this also? So when we were back on Earth. Oh, what?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say this also when Yajirobe absolutely ate the fuck out of Krillin's ass, and I was going to have to say yes.
I was going to get to that.
You were?
I wasn't. My mind wasn't on eating ass at the moment. It was actually on the other absolutely unhinged moment of this episode, but just in a different direction, which was where Piccolo and Gohan were fighting. And he did dodge him. He like actually finally. So the whole thing is like the in the previous episode. And then in this episode, like Gohan only has like one eye because it's like portraying him having like this big knot over like one of his eyes. And Gohan actually dodges one of Piccolo's hits. And then I think Piccolo does compliment him and then says, but dodge this, and hits him with a massive beam that knocks him off the cliff.
Bro holds his hand up to Gohan's like forehead and says, dodge this, and fires a demon explosive wave, bro. Like
crazy. But it was hype, though.
He was not dodging that shit. But yeah, no, the Piccolo Gohan, all the training filler has been elite in these 2 episodes.
Yes. But then I do think there's a cut and then a cut back, and that is when we do in fact see Yajirobe. He like dodges Krillin and then turns around, and I don't think either of us thought, we were like, is he really about to do that? And he puts his mouth on Krillin's ass. Actually,
he just starts going to town. I don't even know what that was about. That was different.
And then that's, I think, when we do go back, and I think that was after the intermission. And it's like, oh, they're gonna talk about the past over dinner. And so they start eating dinner, and they decide to, they bring up Saiyans basically, and that's when Goku's like, yeah, I'm a Saiyan. And Gregor's like, what?
Yeah, and then they start going into it. And again, we should probably get very detailed here because the anime tells a pretty detailed story.
You want me to just read it, or you want to read it?
Yeah. I could read it if you want, or what do you want to?
You go for it. It's Serenade.
Okay, let me find a way. Let me find out where the wiki starts. Okay, here we go. The Saiyans were wiped out. The Saiyans wiped out the only other humanoid race on planet Vegeta. This race was called the Tuffles. Then they had risen into acts of interstellar terror. They basically started leaving the planet. To conducting bounty hunting missions. You know, that fits in with the Saiyans we know. But they had since been driven to near extinction, and the wiki doesn't say why, but King Kai goes into the story, and it was because they also had a guardian on their planet similar to Kami on Earth, and this guardian had gotten so fed up with the Saiyans being bad people and taking out the Tuffles and doing bounty hunting missions with another race that they called the Arokosians, something like that,
yeah.
But then this guardian sent out a message to the stars and called meteors towards planet Vegeta, ultimately bringing about the extinction of the Saiyans themselves, outside of 4 Saiyans: Goku, Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta. So as King Kai would have you believe it, the Saiyans were taken out, as well as planet Vegeta, because the guardian of their planet decided to blow it up. He just had enough of it. And that was the story of the Saiyans, as we were told.
And in this little story, we do get a really cool shot of Goku in like traditional Saiyan armor, which I thought was actually,
he looks like Turles. Cool. It was pretty sick. It was a good look for him. It was a good look. And then that's it. That's the history.
And that of course is why it's like. Here's the thing. I don't remember, but. Because like I'm so shrouded with different things now of the canonization of that. Yes,
this has been rewritten like 80 times.
So when we get to Frieza, does Frieza explain that he killed all the Saiyans in the anime?
I don't know when we're gonna learn this, but I do know that at least one moment where we could potentially learn it is when Vegeta's like dying, like after he gets shot, he goes, "Vegeta, Frieza's the one that did it. He killed us." Like, I do know that happens, but I don't remember if that's the first time we learn about that.
Yeah. I mean, like, this is, and I think, like, that's what, like, I enjoy typically seeing this, like, background stuff, but this felt so invalidated so quickly, or, you know, just, like, none of this even felt real. But so that's why.
Yeah, this storyline gets beat down purely because, like, how many times has the Planet Vegeta stuff been rewritten? You have the way Vegeta sees it, the way King Kai sees it, the Bardock storyline, the Dragon Ball Super Broly storyline, and then Frieza. And even with Frieza, we also find out later that Beerus told Frieza to do it.
Oh, like, yes. Yep.
Yeah. So this shit gets, honestly, this shit gets rewritten every other Tuesday, man. So who actually knows what happened to Planet Vegeta? Because I don't. I still don't. I actually accept the commie of Planet Vegeta called forth the meteors to do it.
Oh, that's going to be your headcanon for.
Yeah, that's my canon. Everything else is fake news, man. That's my headcanon.
Okay. So Frieza was lying the whole time?
Yeah, Frieza's actually just like he just wanted the clout.
Okay. Frieza's a fraud, which honestly, if you have any amount of foresight, maybe a little true. Who knows?
Yep. But yeah, once we're out of that memory, once we're out of the storytelling, we pretty much just cut to them back outside training. They got a belly full of rice, and dude, Goku.
We didn't talk about one of the funniest aspects of this video or this episode, though.
What happened?
Well, you saying that him going back inside with the mallet reminded me of him beating the hell out of
the car.
King Kai's freaking classic Chevy or something out there, bro.
That's probably why Gregory has to like fucking gas King Kai up so much, because when he's training Goku, he had Goku beat the shit out of that car.
Yeah, it
like
felt
a hammer
very
to the
on purpose.
windshield,
It felt
hammer
on
to the
purpose.
roof of the car. None of that was gonna buff out. So rip King Kai's car. It lasted all of 2 episodes, maybe 3 if you want to call the first one a car scene. But that's about it. That's about it for this episode, because after that, Goku actually does bring the hammer down on Gregory, but he has enough control to. Let's just hold on real quick. It's actually sick the way Goku does it. I've always loved this scene, even when I was a kid. He throws the hammer, goes the other way on the planet like he did with Bubbles, and then he catches up to Gregory, catches the hammer, then brings it down. Doesn't end Gregory's life. He's too good of a guy. Just dents his head. And that's it. We're at the end.
Yeah, that is it. And the last realistic thing that happens in this episode, unless I'm forgetting about something, but is that because when we were watching it, both of us were trying to remember if they kept the Kaioken technique as like a bit of a like surprise. Yeah. To see it like actually in action, which I still not convinced we're going to see it in action until we see it against the Saiyans. But anyways, which maybe we will. What do you think? Do you think we'll see it next episode or the episode after?
I don't think we see Red Goku.
Yeah, that's what I'm not saying we won't see, like maybe a bit of a training arc here of trying to teach him it, but I don't think we see it in action, because I think it's like not Super Saiyan level reveal, but kind of like for this era Super Saiyan level type reveal to see that technique in action. So but King Kai, because he catches Gregory, is like, all right, I'll teach the Kaioken, or sorry, as the dub says it, the Kaioken.
Which people give that shit, but I think it's equally as cool when Goku goes Kaioken. Like, I think it still sounds cool.
Oh yeah, and when people got on me, because if you go back and you find some of my earlier YouTube videos, I used to call it Kaioken, because that's how I grew up calling it. Because, well, guess what? When you grew up listening to the dub and they call it that, that's what you call it. But then I've since, of course, been corrected, and I now know that it is actually supposed to be pronounced Kaioken. So here we are. There was one more thing, wasn't there?
What happens?
Baba?
Oh yeah, we basically get a quick scene on Earth with Roshi and Bulma asking Baba if the Earth has a future, and she goes to check and says there is no future.
Death.
That's about it. Then just quick move on back to I think that was the end of the episode. It was Piccolo training with Gohan, and then a quick scene of, I think, the Earthlings training. I think it ended.
The wiki, I just read the wiki. The wiki says that they said there's only one more day until the Saiyans arrive. Is that real? Are we here, Dato?
I think they did say that, but honestly, I didn't believe it.
One more day?
That seems a little not real, but what do I know?
Bro, are you watching Saiyans in the next episode? No.
I don't know. That's a little hype. Let's rate it, because now you got me excited. The difference from the manga, actually, first. The story of the Saiyan history involving the war with the Tuffle race and the pirating deal with Arcosian, that's probably how you say it, race was only mentioned in the anime. In the manga, the Tuffle and Arcosian race are never mentioned.
So, okay, hang on. Not to dwell too long on this, but are the Tuffles purely made up?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because Baby's a Tuffle, right?
He is, yes. That's his storyline. Saiyans eradicated Tuffles, and he was pissed about that.
Yeah, so hang on. So is the entire basis of Baby on this fake storyline?
We're gonna have to get more. I don't know what's real and what's fake. That's messed up here. Oh, and I do want to talk about this. Another thing that doesn't make sense, Nano. And this the wiki is right to get on their ass about. Because it says, as part of the story, King Kai tells Goku of the Saiyan ability to transform into great apes on full moon nights. Goku shows no reaction to this. He later learns about the ability when Vegeta uses it and realizes he accidentally killed Grandpa Gohan as a child. That's true. Goku is not paying attention to the story at all. He did not realize that he also turned into a great ape and killed his own dad.
Huh.
So Wiki got on their ass very correctly on that one.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, Nano, it's rating time. Unless you got anything else you'd like to talk
was there nothing else in this? Like
the trivia list?
Yeah.
That was the only one that jumped out to me. One of the points is literally just a meathead comment that you said. It was like Goku is shown wearing battle armor in this episode. Yeah, that was cool,
I thought it was cool. Okay.
And then we have a timer one where it said, King Kai says there are 70 days left before the arrival of Saiyans, but in the previous episode, he said there was 88 days, and it took Goku 3 weeks or 21 days to catch bubbles, meaning there should have been at most 67 days left in the original version. It also took Goku 2 weeks to hit Gregory, but this is not said in the dub, which uses different days. So they're getting on their ass with the time stuff.
Yeah, but it's kind of who cares on that. That is interesting, though, that we fast forwarded. If he caught... I don't know. How do we fast forward them only being 1 day away? That's what's like.
That's why I thought I heard that. I didn't even believe it though. I thought I must have just mistaken it. But
okay,
hey, we know Goku's late.
If you're going, you go first this time, and I'll put mine up. This is where I'm at.
This episode, again, it could have been higher with the history, but because the history was just kind of whatever, it was still cool to see going Great Ape, the Saiyans eradicating the Tuffles. It's still really cool. So it doesn't take away, doesn't really add much. All the training stuff, very cool again. So I'm ending up, Nano, hold yours up. Make sure you got it. I'm giving it another 7. This is another 7. This is the same as the last episode, kind of.
Bro, you glazing today, man. Oh my God.
I
gave it a 6.
Wow, what the hell? So last one was an 8, but now we're going all the way to a 6. What was so different, huh? What's your opinion on that?
I just think that, and I already kind of stated it, but I feel like first off, let's not understate it. I did enjoy Gregory. I'm not a Gregory hater, but I enjoyed, okay. Man, dude, do I change it to a 7? We just have the same score. Because like you, the throwing the mallet one direction and running the other to then catch it and hit him is sick as hell. Like that is a Dragon Ball. That is a Dragon Ball ass moment if I've ever seen one. And then, but the thing is that I've said this every time, the whole seeing the past stuff gets me. But in this case, I was kind of like, I wasn't feeling it as much, and I don't know why.
Damn, hater.
I saw someone comment and say, man, Nano's super inconsistent. And I'm looking at my scores. I'm like, actually, I've been pretty consistent across the board. But I will say this one, maybe it lies in the inconsistent section. But I don't know. I feel like this one wasn't nearly as strong as the previous one.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
So, you know what? I'm giving it a 6. Let's be real, dude. 6 to 8 is very similar. In my mind, if you're a 6 to an 8, that's a very similar set of episodes. Kind of like a 3 to a 5 are very similar, and a 9 and a 10 are very similar, right?
Well, there are some 5s out there that are very depressed during that, but I respect it.
But you know what I respect is everyone that has watched this video with us today.
It's the end of the podcast.
Even better if you left the rating like I asked, and you hit a like button, and you subscribed, and you just checked out the Patreon. Even if you don't become a paid member over there, you can become, I believe, a free member. I've seen people doing it. I didn't know that was a thing. But then you can be tapped in, and then if you decide you want to turn on and become paid and watch all the bonus content, then you can do that. It's super easy too. So
you said, who are these freeloaders?
I just didn't know it was a thing. I saw it pop up. I saw it pop up on our feed, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
He said new Patreon. Oh, free.
Nah, I appreciate all you guys supporting us, making this podcast possible, and we'll see you guys next week right here for more key moments.
Bye. We got some Saiyans to watch.
Dude, we do. Bye.